Hi everyone, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for visiting with me today. Today's video is going to be about Cherish Perrywinkle, an 8-year-old girl in Jacksonville, Florida. And I am going to reference my notes. If you've been around a while, you understand that and you know why. If that is something that's sorry about that. If that's something that is going to bother you, then go ahead and exit this video now, because I am going to be referencing my notes. Again, for those of you who have been around a while, understand why I need to do that. For those of you who are new here, who have a problem with me looking at my notes, you should just exit the video now and go watch someone else's video on the topic. I'm gonna get this. I'm sorry, my camera just decided to turn off. Okay, so Cherish Perrywinkle, Cherish Lily Perrywinkle, born on December 24th, 2004, is the daughter of single mom Rain Perrywinkle. Now, to fully tell the story, we have to first tell you about Rain Perrywinkle, her mom. She was, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on for my notes. She was born as Kimberly Hoy in Brisbane, Australia. And in 1986, she had her first daughter, Lindsay, at 18 years old. And she wasn't really into being a mom. She wanted to party and hang out with her friends and just live her life without being bogged down by a child. And she really was not enjoying motherhood at all. And yeah, don't have kids young if you're gonna party. You know, I understand it was probably an accidental pregnancy, but you know, there are remedies for that. But her mother and her older sister, Rain's mother and older sister, became her daughter Lindsay's main caregivers. In 1991, Kimberly decided to just leave, and she abandoned 5-year-old Lindsay and moved to the U.S., specifically to Jacksonville, Florida, that's where she changed her name to Rain Perrywinkle. And it was difficult for her to start a new life after abandoning her child and her whole family in Australia. And she had no help or support here. You know, Australia to Jacksonville is a long way, and you know, a stranger in a strange land, you don't know anybody or anything. It is hard to, you know, reinvent yourself, I guess. So she became an exotic dancer, and I believe, I can't say for certain, it was either at Bikini Beach or Wacko's is where she worked. I tried to find for sure where it was, but I've heard people say it was Wacko's, and I think I heard like one person say it was Bikini Beach, but I know she had a lot of fun with Navy guys, which would make it more than likely Bikini Beach, but I know they also like Wacko's too. This is a Navy town, so I live in Jacksonville, so while Rain was working at this gentleman's club, she met Billy Giroux, and Billy was in the Navy, and they had a one-nighter, and Rain became pregnant from this, and she told her friends that she had made in Jacksonville that this was her first pregnancy. No one had any idea about her life back in Australia, and she didn't tell anyone anything about that life, and didn't tell anyone anything about her first child, Lindsay. It's almost as if Lindsay never existed. Like, she just completely glossed over the fact that Lindsay existed. So on Christmas Eve 2004, she gave birth to a baby girl and named her Cherish Lily Perrywinkle. And she waited almost 3 years before hunting Billy down to tell him he had a daughter. And the only reason she did that is because she needed money. She needed child support, because she was not making it on her own. I know we all struggle as parents. We all struggle, but they spent a lot of time homeless and stuff. So Rain started a relationship with Aaron Pearson shortly after Cherish was born. And again, Rain couldn't handle the financial burden of taking care of a child. She could barely take care of herself. And she decided to sue Billy for child support, But Billy wanted a paternity test, which Rain at first refused, but the courts ordered it. They said, if you want child support, you're going to have to prove he's the father. So when the test proved Billy was the father, he wanted to be involved in Cherish's life. And so little by little, the court would let Billy have more time with Cherish. And Billy did take Rain to court for full custody because he didn't approve of Rain's lifestyle or living conditions. And I have to say, based on what I know about the situation, I don't either. She was, I know people fall on hard times, but the whole life was a hard time, You just don't bring a child into the world that you can't take care of. I stand by that. I know that a lot of people are going to get mad about that statement, but I just don't understand these women that have children. I have one right in my family, had child after child after child after child that she can't feed. She can't provide them any kind of housing or anything. Thank God she has support from family, but but Rain doesn't have that luxury. But due to her mental health, Rain had a hard time holding down a job. Now, I don't think that just because someone has mental health concerns that they shouldn't be parents, but I think they do need to have that treated. They need to be in treatment for that. And I know in Jacksonville there are a lot of resources. They're subpar, but they do exist. But yeah, they even had bouts of homelessness, staying in the homeless shelter. DCF got involved, but Rain maintained custody of Cherish. DCF thought living in homeless shelters with her mother was better for Rain than her having a stable home life with her father, with her biological father. I'll never understand them. I'll never understand how they work, DCF. I just, and if you're thinking, oh, you just want her daughter taken away from her, yeah. That child should have been taken away from her. She could not take care of her. And we'll continue. So after Aaron, her boyfriend, got a steady job, Rain and Cherish moved in with him. And they had 2 daughters together, Destiny and Nevaeh. And Aaron also, I believe, he had one son from a previous relationship. Cherish would eventually get to have extended visits with Billy at his home in San Diego, California. On June 21st, 2013, 8-year-old Cherish was getting ready to fly to California the next day on June 22nd to spend the summer with her father. And her mom, Rain, was getting Cherish ready for her trip, packing her bags, but wanted to buy her some new things, like some clothes. And at around 7:30 p.m., Rain took Cherish and her 2 younger sisters, Destiny and Nevaeh, to Dollar General on Edgewood Avenue. Rain didn't have a car, so they walked, which was about 20 minutes. And Rain had $100 that Aaron had given her to cover clothes, household items, and the cost of traveling to the airport. So not really a lot of money. That's not much. And Rain wanted to buy Cherish a little white dress with hearts on it, but she returned it to the rack when she realized she couldn't afford it. And there was a man in the store watching Rain's every move. And that, at least around here, it is not unusual to be watched by a man in Dollar General. It really isn't. I know that may sound funny, but it isn't. There are so many creeps around here. And I know they're everywhere, but it just seems very concentrated around here. I've seen men following moms, and I've been followed, and it's, one time I was, not to get off the subject, but I was leaving this grocery store, and I had my car keys out, and I was walking to my car, because I had my keys out in the position, that women have their keys in so they can attack someone that tries to mess with them. And I was walking to my car, and this guy in this big pickup truck was like driving real slowly next to me. And he goes, "Hi, darling, you need a ride?" I'm like, I'm walking through the parking lot with keys in my hand, obviously to a car. No, I don't need a ride. And I said, no. And he goes, "Don't you mean no, thank you?" And I said, "No, I mean no." Oh, okay. So anyway, the man was watching them, and he went outside and waited for Rain and the girls. And this man started talking to Rain when she exited the store. He told her that he had a $150 gift card for Walmart, and he was waiting for his wife to bring it to him. And they waited for about 20 minutes for his wife, but he then told Rain they could just meet his wife at Walmart. But I don't know how this happened. Did he pretend like he called her on a phone or what? I'm not sure how that happened. But it started to rain outside, so Rain thought either walk home in the rain or go with this man to Walmart. You walk home in the rain. You don't get in a creepy white van with a creepy old man. You walk home in the rain. But anyway, Rain was at first reluctant, but she was also desperate to get Cherish some clothes. And Rain told the man she'd rather wait for his wife where they were. So she'd rather wait right there instead of it. And he got kind of an attitude. He was like, well, you don't have to do this, you know. And he knew how to pick him. He knew what he was picking out. And he was like, by the way, his name is Dawn. And she didn't want to like seem rude or hurt his feelings. I say his feelings, but and she didn't want to lose out on the gift card, so she agreed to the ride. A stranger offering a $150 gift card doesn't happen. So just turn it down. Just turn it down. I know hindsight is 20/20, but so when they arrived at Walmart, Don said he would wait for his wife in the parking lot, and Rain went into Walmart with her girls to shop, and Don joined them soon after. And things, if they aren't weird enough, started getting weird. First, Don put a bundle of rope in the shopping cart. He didn't buy it, but it was still, like, in my opinion, a red flag. And he also focused a lot on Cherish. And he picked out a pair of women's high-heeled shoes, like high-heel shoes, and, for Cherish to wear, which were completely inappropriate for an 8-year-old, like a fetish thing or something. And he took Cherish to the dressing room alone twice. He did. He took her to the dressing room twice. Weird. At Walmart made the announcement that they would be closing soon, and the children hadn't eaten dinner yet. So Dawn offered to go to the McDonald's inside Walmart to get food, and Cherish went with him. I'm sorry, this mom is stupid. It's and I thought this before when this all happened, how, ridiculous this mom was, but I'm sorry, she's stupid. You don't do this. You don't. And I know that's mean, and we're always attacking moms, and we're always going after the mom in situations like this, but this is why. So about 20 minutes later, Rain started to worry. The store was closing, and Rain had a shopping cart full of clothes, no gift card, and Dawn and Cherish are gone, and there's no sign of even Dawn's wife, who, by the way, spoiler alert, the wife doesn't exist. Rain searched Walmart, McDonald's, and the parking lot, and the van was gone. She couldn't find she couldn't find Cherish, so Rain called 911 from a Walmart phone at 11:20 p.m. And here's the 911 call.
Jackson 911, Robinson.
Hi, I'm at Walmart. I'm in turn. I think I've been taken.
What do you mean?
Taken by a stranger. I can't find her.
And you say you're at the Walmart on Lim Turner?
Yes, I am.
Okay, where did you last see her at?
Walmart. I met a man today at Dollar General. He saw that I was struggling to buy them some clothes. He drove us here to buy us some clothes, and the only reason I went with him because he said his wife was going to be here. Because I told him I don't take rides with strangers.
Okay, ma'am.
He said he was going to McDonald's, and he hasn't been there because the store is closed right now. I had a strange feeling about him when I first met him, and he took her to the dressing room twice, and I was hoping that she would be okay. And I was looking at the shoes, and I didn't want him to think that I was overly protective, freaking out. But now they're not here. And I find it very odd because he knew that.
Oh, okay, ma'am. What color vehicle does he drive?
It's a white van. I had a bad feeling. I thought, well, I feel like pinching myself because this is too good to be true. So I got to the checkout. He's not here. He isn't here. And I'm hoping he's not her right now because I've had that done to me. It's not fun. She's supposed to go to California in the morning on the plane. And he knows, as I told him this, he knew when the store was closing. I had a bad feeling about him.
Okay, how long have you been looking for you? When was the last time you saw him? How long ago?
About half an hour ago.
So you've been looking for her for a half an hour?
Yes. There's nobody in the store. And he knew the store was closing. He said he was going to McDonald's. She went with him. I should have told her to stay with me. He wanted her to buy these really tall shoes that were women's shoes, and I told him no. I said they're too high for her. I wouldn't even wear shoes that high. Maybe he was grooming her. I hope to God he doesn't kill her, and I hope to God he doesn't her. I don't want him to kill her. I don't want to be one of those parents that are going through this. Oh my God.
So Rain couldn't provide a lot of details to the police. She described Dawn as having white hair and driving a white van. But she was sure he took Cherish. And so Donald Smith was a registered sex offender with crimes dating back to the 70s, and he had just been released from prison 3 weeks earlier. And this is who has Cherish, this guy. The 911 dispatcher called Cherish a missing person instead of an abduction. When the police arrived, they didn't believe Rain's story until they watched the surveillance footage, which I'll insert here. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Donald James Smith. He was born to Patricia Moore on September 4th, 1956. And I'm going to give you the really summed down version of his story because there's a lot. He experienced trauma, bullying, and assaults growing up. 2 older boys in his neighborhood touched him inappropriately and forced him to watch them violently assault little girls in the neighborhood. I don't know what became of that. It seems like that would have gotten some attention, but he also experienced a traumatic brain injury as a child, and which doctors say today that could have affected his behaviors, like his, deviancy. He was known to expose himself to children, but in 1977, he was convicted of lewd behavior towards a minor, finally, for exposing himself to a 10-year-old girl and touching himself in front of a 5-year-old. He served 1 year in jail for that. He was considered a mentally disordered offender. He was in and out of prisons for similar offenses plus drug charges throughout the years. Sometime after 2001, he was placed in jail for violating his probation. The state of Florida began civil commitment proceedings. In 2002, he was released but was expected to attend outpatient treatment and get injections to suppress sex drive. By 2003, he refused to take the shots, and he also stopped the treatment program. In 2006, he was evaluated again for civil commitment but didn't meet the criteria, which means he figured out how to beat it. Excuse me, dry throat. However, the doctor that performed the evaluation said that he was a serious predator with an antisocial personality disorder and felt it was due to his brain injury. But right there's a doctor saying he's a danger to society, but he didn't meet the criteria for civil commitment. We're just going to let this guy run around in the world. In 2012, now there has been some flip-flopping on this one. Some articles said 2003, some said 2012, but I figured it out. It had to have been 2012 because this was the sentence he served before grabbing Cherish. So in 2012, he was arrested again for impersonating a DCF worker and trying to conduct a rape kit on a 9-year-old. He spent a year in prison. About 19 days after his release, an anonymous caller called a tip line to say that he was in Jacksonville, Florida, to say that he's been in Walmart acting weird towards women with children. And just a few days after that tip was called in, that's when he met Rain and hit her 3 daughters. Police placed be on the lookout for his white van at 5:30 a.m. Finally, an Amber Alert was issued, although it really should have been issued immediately, in my opinion. Although it should have been issued sooner. That's in my notes. A few hours later, someone called the tip line to report a sighting. A woman called to report a suspicious-looking white van parked at the Highlands Baptist Church on Broward Road in Jacksonville. Police caught and arrested Smith at 9 a.m., but Cherish was not in the van. But here is that call.
Hi, we're calling about a suspicious van over here, a white van. It was parked behind some bushes really deep, and then we heard that it's not there anymore, but we don't know if he dumped anything because we heard a girl just got abducted from Walmart.
Right.
So we're not sure if that's the van, but the white van was pushed all the way to the back of the bushes this morning.
Near some bushes?
Yes, right behind the church.
Shortly after Smith's arrest, I think it was about 30 minutes, Cherish's body was found in a marshy area behind the church. She was submerged in the water, covered with chunks of asphalt to hold her down. And Cherish's biological father got the call to tell him what happened, and he is devastated. And I'm sure it was not only devastating and very upsetting to him, but also extremely frustrating that he tried to get custody of her and she would be safe. She would be safe if they had just given him custody, you know. But Don was charged with first-degree kidnap and murder and RAPE, and it took 4 years for his trial to begin, which for charges like this I think is pretty average. It was said in court by Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Valerie Rowe that all of Cherish's injuries were sustained prior to her death, and there were many, many injuries, including cuts, bruises, and human bites all over her body. And the worst injuries were those suffered during the assault. She was, how can I say this? The lower half of her body was visibly deformed because of what he had done to her. Like, you could see it. You could look at her body and tell something happened there, if you know what I'm trying to say. Oddly, one witness defense called to the stand was a woman who, when she was 13 years old in 1992, Don Smith chased and terrorized, trying to get her in his van. I don't really know what the defense was trying to do with that. To me, it just proves that their client is a vicious predator. I don't know why they did that unless they were secretly trying to make sure he got convicted. I don't know, but that was weird. Also, the state shared this very disturbing audio between Don and another inmate in jail, and this is disturbing. Ronald Smith was found guilty and sentenced to death. The jury took 15 minutes to come up with the verdict.
All right. Madam Clerk, if you would publish the verdicts.
In the Circuit Court of the Fourth Judicial Circuit and in Port Milwaukee, Florida, case number 16, 2013, CF 005781, AXXXMA, Division CRD, State of Florida versus Donald James Smith, verdict count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. We further find the killing was premeditated. We further find the killing was done during the commission or attempted commission of a felony to a kidnapping of sexual battery. Verdict count 2, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of kidnapping as charged in the indictment. We find the victim was under 13 years of age at the time of the offense. We find the defendant committed sexual battery on the victim during the commission of the offense. Verdict count 3, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of sexual battery upon a person less than 12 years of age as charged in the indictment. So say we all, done at Jacksonville, Duval County, Florida. Signed a foreperson, February 14, 2018.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk.
So nice and fast. And he's still sitting on death row. I think it's also important to mention that less than a month after losing Cherish, the state removed her 2 other children. The 2 children have been adopted by their aunt in Australia. So Rain's sister, who was also taken care of and raised Lindsay. The girl's guardian ad litem, Patricia Park, said Rain didn't meet the criteria to regain custody, so the state put them up for adoption. And Rain's Australian family members, including the oldest daughter, Lindsay, when she abandoned, didn't have very nice things to say about her. This is a tragic case, as they all are. And I know we're always quick to blame the mom whenever something happens to a child. But personally, I think adopting these children to Rain's family was the right thing to do. That woman does not need children. And I understand she's in pain and upset about what happened to Cherish, but she had no business being a mom. And she's unfit. And one stupid decision led to a painful death for Cherish. And I just, again, I know we're always quick to blame the mom, but things like this are why. I mean, and I know everybody's like, everybody's blaming the mom. We need to stop blaming the mom. But I mean, if it wasn't Cherish, it was going to be someone else's child. That's not lost on me. But these guys are looking for a certain kind of woman. They know what they're looking for. And he hit the jackpot with Rain. And I think it's awful. I think it's horrible. Again, I hate to be so hard on the mom. I mean, the predator is the one to blame. The predator did the deed, but, it, to me, was the right thing to take her children from her because she has no business being a mother. And I know that's harsh. I know that may come off as mean, but, it has to be about protecting children. And I cannot believe DCF thought Cherish staying with her mom, with her mental health issues. Not that mental health issues makes you unworthy of being a mom, but untreated mental health issues, staying in homeless shelters, bouncing around, that they thought that was a better life for Cherish than going to live with her father. That just baffles my mind. I don't know, DCF, they confuse me. But I feel like this is just another case where a lot of grown-ups let her down, It wasn't her dad. Her dad didn't let her down. He tried to get her. He tried to fight for her. He didn't approve of Rain's lifestyle, and I don't know. It's a mess. But I'm going to go. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.